Hi, everyone. Happy Easter. I hope you are enjoying your day. I know many of you are probably not able to celebrate with your families in the way that you would like to, but hopefully you're still able to see each other, you know, over social media, and video chatting is a great tool to use. So I hope everybody is staying safe during these crazy times. So I know I may not look very Easter Sunday-ish to you all, but many of you who follow me, you know I do yoga on Sundays. Coming up here at 5, I'm going to be doing a very relaxing yin class, and it's actually online, $24 a month, unlimited for online classes. If anybody's interested, let me know. Feel free to send me a message. Obviously, no matter where you are in the world, you can partake in this or comment below, and I'm happy to share that information with you. So I'm here today to bring you guys a divine masculine empowerment reading, and that's another reason why I'm sort of dressed in this attire. Um, Obviously, the comfy attire is for yoga, but I was really drawn to this tank top in particular. It's one of my favorite modern bands, the Rival Sons. They're just a raw, bluesy, just guttural, like awesome, but not like hard rock. They're just more, like I said, like a bluesy kind of vibe, like the Black Keys sort of. But I love this shirt. It actually, I'm really curious to see what messages come out because, as you guys can see, I think this is a crane that's on top, which is, I was just looking this up before, but it's definitely a card about transformation, rebirth, those types of things. There's also some bluebirds throughout here, and there's another kind of bird. I'm not even sure what it is down here, but and then I was really drawn to these feather earrings. They're very much of a like kind of a rock vibe. They've got the gold and then the black, so I kind of feel like what the vibe I'm getting is very much in alignment with what day we're celebrating, which is the resurrection of Jesus. I feel like all of us in the collective, right? Because again, we have masculine and feminine energies within all of us, but especially the divine masculines have went through a complete, I think, death and resurrection. Um, I know myself. I identify more in the masculine energy, and just really having to balance and get in alignment with my feminine side and open my heart. Um, Wounded masculinity is prevalent in our society. Young men are taught that they shouldn't have emotions, they shouldn't cry, they shouldn't have feelings, they need to just suck it up, they need to be strong. And, they actually are learning the opposite of what it is to be strong in their masculinity. To be strong in their masculinity is to allow themselves to be vulnerable, to allow themselves to open their heart and to love versus using those wounds as control mechanisms, using those fears and insecurities as manipulation. And, I'm not saying this in general, but, we see with a lot of the masculine um, elite that are in power, it's about power, it's about control. It's about greed, it's about all these things, and it's not, they view intuition, they view the feminine side of things as a weakness, right? So I am doing this reading. I wanted to do it pretty shortly after I recorded the Divine Feminine one because there were so many shifts that were happening um, at the beginning of March. And then, as you guys know, March seemed like an entire decade by itself. And we all were kind of sucked into this really heavy energy. Um, and I struggled for a while. I think there was probably 3 weeks or so where I didn't make a video. I just was struggling to really connect and do things. So I felt really called today to do this. I actually had to go back and rewatch most of the feminine video because I didn't even remember how I structured this or what I did. So I want to kind of try to, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but try to follow a similar format here and do the same type of thing. So I don't really want to pull a spread. I'm going to just kind of see from the traditional tarot what kind of theme spirit is showing us, where the divine masculines are right now, the messages, what the things they've accomplished, the things they should feel proud of. And again, I encourage you to, no matter what your gender is or how you identify, I would encourage you to watch the Divine Feminine one as well, because there will probably be messages that resonate from both videos. Okay, so just scroll back. It was about a month ago. It was Divine Feminine Empowerment reading. So we're going to go and get started. We're going to see what comes out. It's funny, we'll see if that comes out. This is the same one I used in the feminine. We're just going to see what message Spirit has for the Divine Masculine Collective. What's going on with the Divine Masculines right now? Oh my God. I knew that card was going to come out. I literally, like, it popped into my head. I almost said it out loud, and I was like, that'd be too weird if I said it. I'm about speechless right now, you guys. Awakening. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I can't. If 78 cards, and if I would have picked, I was literally thinking, you know what, the Awakening card's going to come out. Now, and I think this might have come out in the feminine video too. I think it did. But this is traditionally the Hangman, okay? But in this deck, and for me right now with what's happening, Awakening is what it says. Awakening. Awakening to the Divine Masculine, when I call them that, it is the masculine energy, again, within us, but, you know, this video is probably geared more towards masculine gender. Masculines who are on the spiritual path, who have always known they're meant for something greater, who have always questioned the norm of things, you know, organized religion, power, things like that, felt connected to nature, saw sign synchronicities, but maybe didn't tap into that. They're going through massive awakening right now. This is confirmation of that. It even says looking at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill, it's important to be yourself. So I think a lot of them are the masculines. Again, you might be a feminine cross-watching. If you're not hearing from your counterpart, and we're not really getting into that type of thing, but that's a message that needs to come out. They're really going within right now and processing a lot, and it's happening quickly. This is sort of like, it almost looks like I think it's the skirt of the angel, the garb of the angel, but it almost looks like a tornado underneath of them stirring. It's like this stirring, like, okay, you know, it's happening quickly. I'm still almost, I don't even know what to say that card came out. It's really crazy. And I was just guided to flip this over, and we have, yeah, the Hermit. Yeah, the Hermit's there, but the bottom of the deck is what wants to be here. Balance. This is the Temperance card. This is another major arcana. This is balance and moderation, cooperation, compromise, waiting for perfect timing. So I think the masculines are really starting to work on their wounded side and embracing more of the feminine intuition, the energy, connecting to their divinity, and just trying to work on that balance. And I think a lot of them are being guided by a higher power without even really knowing it. And that's maybe kind of what this awakening is. It's kind of like, wow, okay, I was seeing these signs, or I was seeing this, or I was kind of just feeling like maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that. And then it just takes off from there. This is really beautiful. And this is a masculine. This looks like a masculine angel. And I feel like they're really starting to just pour, what I'm getting with this image here, pour love into themselves. Love that they probably weren't given in childhood. Masculines, and I feel like, you know, almost everybody has, you know, who doesn't have childhood wounds, some much worse than others, but I feel like the masculine collective, the ones that are, specific people that are on this path, if you identify as divine masculine, you're on this path of awakening, some of them have been through absolute hell. They've been through, you know, just maybe physical abuse, certainly emotional abuse, feeling abandoned, feeling unwanted, feeling unloved. And so what that has conveyed to, you know, what that's brought forth in this life, number one, I mean, we've talked about it over and over again, is this struggle with opening their heart, this struggle with living from their heart, with trusting, right? They don't trust, maybe. They run from love. From someone. Now sometimes, you know, the love of another person, most people in this you know, in this society, in this existence, haven't done extensive work on themselves, right? So they might have a counterpart who's saying I love you and doing all these things, but their love is really codependent, it's controlling, and there's all these other aspects that are unhealthy, right? But just aside from that, someone who really is expressing healthy feelings and genuinely cares about this masculine collective, I feel like they've really struggled to believe it's true, to believe it's real, because they never had it as a child. And when they did allow themselves to believe it as a child, every single time I'm getting like the rug was pulled out from under them. They were constantly let down, constantly disappointed, and just learned to shut off. And so what's happened as a society as a result of that is that so many men, and I'm not bashing men, I'm just saying this is the way, because of the way they were raised, they are not tapped into their emotions. They're cold, they're shut off, and they're not open to their intuition. They're not open to true love, and they just don't believe it's real. They've been disappointed too many times, so they'd rather not put themselves out there to be hurt, so they don't even let that happen. They just put that guard up, put that wall up. And I think that they're realizing now this truth of who they are, and they do want this. Like, they're awakening to the fact that there is something that exists. There is real love. They're capable of it, and they're capable of giving it, and they're capable of receiving it, and they're worthy. And I think that is one of the big things that the masculine collective struggles with, is feeling worthy of someone pure, someone good, and really, again, having that belief that it's real. So that's what I'm picking up on. The truth, I think truths are being revealed to them. It's funny. I think we got the Night of Air in the feminine video too. It's really funny how this is like coming out. But things are kind of starting to shift for them really quickly. And I think this last full moon just blew it out of the water. I mean, we've got the moon here. We've got the moon. Another major arcana. And it's a 1-8, 18, so it adds up to a 9, which is a card, a 9 is a card of solitude. It's about completing cycles, kind of getting to that end of the line, like where, okay, I know something big is happening. I know there's a change. Important psychic insights is what this card said. Releasing fears that hold you back. I think so many, this last full moon, there's a series of them coming. But, I just feel like this one has been, we got 3 major arcana here, plus the truth card. And it's a fast card too. And they're wanting me to pull this out. The childhood wounds, I think they're starting to recognize, is what I'm getting. Spirit is they're starting to recognize how childhood experiences and wounds have impacted them in their relationships as adults. And I think now, rather than running from it, burying it under the sand, pretending, even kind of saying, well, that's in the past, it doesn't matter. I think there's a recognition now, and maybe that's what some of the awakening is too. It's like, I have the power to change the course of my life. I have the power to go back and revisit these wounds and these patterns, and stop repeating the same things over and over again, and change the course of my life. We've got the 6 of Cups here. And so this is a dual meaning card, and this is actually very profound, very powerful. It is a memories from, history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. For me, as I was just saying, this is about childhood wounds, childhood things. It's kind of like they can't hide from it anymore. But there's also, I think, a recognition of, again, why perhaps a relationship that was really something that was special to them, that they would have wanted it to work out. Maybe they didn't know why. Maybe they knew that they maybe had issues. This other person maybe had issues they need to work on, but it was just there's a recognition. It's like, wow, if I work on myself and work on my wounds, and I can recognize my triggers and heal these things from the past, maybe I can be a better partner going forward. And I think that many of these masculines I think a lot of them have spent time alone, quite a bit of time alone. working on themselves, even without, a lot of it I think was subconscious. It was kind of like a slow process. Like, I'm just going to take a break from dating, and maybe they were just done, they were closed off. And then they kind of thought, well, I'm gonna just, yeah, I'm gonna, and they, I feel like spirit has been, spirit has been sending them articles or pictures, or introducing them to people along their path who have been providing messages and guiding them. And I feel like it kind of just snowballed over time. And I feel like, we've talked about this, how Leo season last summer was very pivotal for the collective, but especially the Divine Masculine collective. And Scorpio season, oh my God, that was the one that was for me, my wake up call, and getting my shit together and getting my energy more in a balance and alignment. And a lot of masculines, not all, but a lot of them, suffer from addictions. It doesn't have to be substances. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be drugs. Certainly is, but it can be just anything external vices. It can be porn addiction. It can be workaholism. Throwing themselves into just that. And just, I feel like there's a lot of control that they're having to relinquish, and recognizing those patterns. Being non-committal is a form of control. Leaving people hanging, um, because maybe that happened in their childhood. It's something that it's like a defense mechanism now. Well, if I don't commit to something, somebody can't cancel on me. Um, I'm in control. I'm in the power. And it's like, I feel like a lot of them are just starting to go more with the flow, is what I'm getting. They're just, it's been this, it was a gradual process until the summer. And then it's just, especially with this last full moon. But the Six of Cups is really the strong energy here. I feel like some of them aren't ready, quite, because we've got the Knight of Cups in reverse, which is falling in love, wedding proposals. They're not quite ready for a reunion with, Six of Cups can be a reunion in a romantic situation. This Knight of Cups being in reverse. It's like they're not quite ready for that next step, because they're still working on this childhood stuff. They're still, some of them have experienced tower events. I mean, who hasn't really, with the pandemic and things going on right now? This is the life experience card, which is the tower. A significant life event, powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. In this deck, it's not quite the catastrophic boom. I mean, some people have had that, but to me, it's more in alignment with the awakening. It's the divine intervention. It's the epiphany. Again, the powerful revelation leading to change. I think many of them have just had this happen, and they're now like, oh yeah, I'm on this path. Things are starting to just make sense. They're really starting to process how, again, the pieces of the puzzle, their childhood, their teenage years, this relationship, that experience, this and that, how it all led to where they are now, and that they have the power to manifest and create their reality going forward. And I think it's very much a beautiful thing for them. I think a lot of them are kind of like, finally, I understand what's been happening to me these past few years and why I feel like I'm going crazy. But I think it's overwhelming for a lot of them too. And they're just like, oh my gosh, now there's questions. Now there's, what do I do next? And if you're a feminine watching this, many of the divine feminines went through the awakening first, not always, but you know how it was. You're just full of questions. You're full of all this energy coursing through you. But what's beautiful is, everything is happening. If you're a divine masculine watching this, everything is happening in divine timing, in divine order. You here now watching this video, it's happening for a reason. Seven of Pentacles. This is the card of, seeds being planted, things that are about to come to fruition. Everything was planted, all these experiences were all seeds leading to this harvest now that's coming out. It's like, oh, okay, this is why. And so now you're having this recognition of that, this high priestess, connecting to your intuition, patience, thinking about things, contemplating, just, I think, reveling in everything together and making sense of it. Two is also a number of balance. So this is just crazy, you guys, because look what we've got. I knew this card was going to come out. We got their death card. which I had a feeling that's why these black feathers wanted to be here. It's a death and total transformation of existence. The masculines I'm literally getting are, I mean, it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It is just, some of them have been brought to their knees. Some of them have maybe lost jobs, had marriages fall apart, paths they thought they were on. I mean, it's just been, you guys know, anybody going through a spiritual awakening, you go through the dark night of the soul, and it's absolutely a brutal process. It's a beautiful process, but it can be brutal at times too. But I think Spirit is acknowledging now that the masculines that they've been through the ringer, but they're no longer in that energy of not getting it, so to speak, or not like just repeating the same over and over and over. They're finally like, oh, there's a pattern here. Oh, I can stop this. I'm worthy of something else. I'm capable of something else. I'm not going to keep messing around with this and this and this. I am going to go forward and ascend and turn the wheel. Okay. Turn the wheel of fortune. 10 in that damn cycle. I mean, we've got so many major arcana here. This is crazy. We've got awakening, balance, which is temperance, the moon, the tower, which is life experience, the high priestess, the wheel, and death. I mean, that is major transformation. Like, of all the transformation cards, it's just crazy. But look, with this tower, the sun is shining in the distance. So I think this is recognition from Spirit of the process that these masculines have went through to get to this point, to get to this awakening. Let's see where you want to go now. But now that this has happened, though, what I'm getting is that things are going to start moving forward very quickly. I think there's just this, because we got Page of Wands, Page of Fire, but what the masculines still need to work on is getting out of the Seven of Cups, Four of Pentacles energy, which is feeling like they're not good enough in the physical realm, like feeling the masculines feel like they have to be, the provider. They have to be able to, be at a certain level with their career. They feel like if they're not, they can't possibly be with a woman that makes more money or that has a different career. That's an outdated paradigm. And, I think what the masculines need to work on is becoming a true partner. Most females, if they're a divine feminine, right, they're not going to be materialistic, and they want somebody who's their equal. They want somebody who works hard and who is motivated and who shares the same goals, right? They want somebody who's a team player in all aspects. And so I think what the message I have, for the masculines is, yes, focus on your career, focus on your gifts, focus on your dreams, but don't let it engulf you so much that you're just, again, getting into that workaholic energy, getting into that I've got to make more money, and that's the only way I'm good enough or worthy enough. Because what your feminine, what your counterpart wants, what you and your soul alignment, needs, even outside of you looking for a partner, you to be in alignment with yourself, you have to be in your emotions. You have to be in your heart. You have to be balanced in your spirituality, in your openness, right? In your ego and your spiritual gifts, right? In your high priestess energy and your we don't want to eradicate the ego. We want to balance. And so if you're too focused on the pentacles, on the stability, you're getting away from the intuitive, the emotions. It's easy to do that. It's easy to say, well, I'm the masculine. I've just got to be the provider. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do this. Focus on money. Focus on this. Focus on earning and all of these things. But you've got to focus just as equally on the cups. Okay? On all of the elements. The swords, not in the negative connotation, but in the truth. Being true to yourself. Speaking your truth. A feminine wants a partner who is honest, who's open, who isn't hiding things, because out of fear, who doesn't close off. So if those are things you're still doing, you need to be balanced there. So that's something I would highly recommend, is working on that. And also this worthiness I'm getting is still there, and I get it. Being the predominant masculine energy, and being presented with a potential counterpart I never would have dreamed. It's like, I viewed myself here on this level, and it's like, oh, and this person is very much in their heart, very feminine energy compared to mine as far as the intuition and the love energy and those types of things. And it's like, whoa, so I've had the tables turned on me from being the feminine who's like, I thought her heart was open and thought she was ready and was chasing after someone, a masculine who was quote running. Then it's like, whoa, you actually have had somebody waiting for you to get to this level. And then it's like, oh my God, I don't feel worthy of this. I can't believe this person would even look at me. Like, I get that. So there's still a lot of that we need to work on within our masculine energy, as far as this is Seven of Cups, by the way. Seven of Cups to me is a card of illusions. And it's like just not believing that this could be real, not believing that this type of love could exist on earth. And I'm telling you, that's not what the focus of this reading is. The focus is balancing your energy and empowering that masculine side of you. But ultimately, anyone who's on this path of working on themselves so extensively that they're tapped into both levels of energy, balancing both sides of energy. I mean, you're undoubtedly, you're inevitably probably on the divine sacred partner path, and you're going to want to attract, you're going to be attracting somebody of that caliber, or you're going to be working with someone. It doesn't have to be a divine sacred or whatever, twin flame. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be a 5D conscious relationship, a relationship that is not stuck in, all these paradigms of and stereotypes, that again, the masculine has to make all the money and be the provider, and the woman stays at home barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and raises the kids. And no, like, both partners can make income. Both partners, heck, they could be in business together, sharing their gifts with the world, raising a family together, balancing it. Everything is about balance, sharing their emotions, sharing their heart, talking when something bothers them instead of retreating and keeping things inside or letting things explode. I've been in relationships where, the men, they never express their emotions, and I have no idea anything's wrong. And then all of a sudden they're screaming at me. I'm like, and it usually is something really, stupid. Like, you folded the towels wrong. And it's like they're screaming at me. And it's not about the towels. It's about something else that upset them, but it's like, that's not what we want, right? And if you're in a position where you're lashing out at someone like that, it's you got to look back within you. Likewise, me, I'm not bashing, the person, the people that happened with, because what I would have done in that situation, probably, rather than say, let's talk about this, calling it out, right? Being conscious. What's really going on here? This is not about the towels. And then instead I would get defensive, shut down, cry, go in, and then a lot of times nothing gets resolved. You don't talk for a couple days and then pretend like nothing happened. How is that healthy? No wonder so many relationships fail. I didn't mean to turn this into a relationship reading, but I feel like that's the masculines listening. I mean, I feel like they have this view. I think masculines have, a lot of people have this view. The Seven of Cups, this is an illusion that there can be a relationship where I can be open, I can be myself and be vulnerable and have communication back to me that's not drama, that's not, because sometimes they're afraid, I think men, if I express how I'm really feeling, and if I tell her she's upset me this way, or this is how it made me feel, that they're going to get, they don't want to deal with hurting her, making her cry. So it's about, when you balance that energy and you're able to look at things from a higher perspective, you can react differently, and you start to, once you understand both sides of the coin, once you understand the masculine, the wounded masculine, the wounded feminine, that's why it's so important, to watch both videos, to look at both aspects. Once you understand and you start to get in tune with both sides of yourself, you're able to just, again, it's about understanding, it's about perspective, and it's about when you heal these wounds, right? That Six of Cups that came out, when you heal these wounds, the abandonment wounds, the unworthiness wounds, and you love yourself and you heal yourself to where you're whole within yourself, you're then not going to react in a defensive manner, because you're going to realize that your partner is not necessarily attacking you. And you can work together and communicate. So I'm just getting that very strongly, that still the masculines are awakening. They're recognizing these things, but I think they're still in the illusion energy and the wanting to feel they're not feeling stable enough in themselves. And so what I'm saying is focus on the emotions right now. Because the feminines, the feminine counterparts, the feminine side, a lot of them are tapping into their spiritual gifts. A lot of them are starting side businesses, getting self-employed, stepping up in their careers, the rise of the divine feminine. It's to get to this point where the pentacles can equal out. And some of the masculines, like I said, it's like some of them are, they're not supposed to be the provider. They're not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be this equality, right? So that's why I think a lot of them, they're just reassessing everything they're wanting to do. And some of them are, writing, and that's maybe the aspect of the pentacles that you should be focusing on. I think that's the message that needs to come out, is the creative side. If you're wanting to write poetry, if you're wanting to write short stories, do tarot readings, learn a new skill, that's the pentacles you should focus on. Because once you get in alignment, things are just going to start flowing. I don't want to run out of time, so I'm going to see. I want to see what message the Ascended Masters, because we did the goddesses for the feminine. Let's see for the Ascended Masters what message they have for the masculines. That's really, oh my God. Okay. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused on yourself. Keep working on your growth and transformation. Stay focused on these things, on your emotional healing, and healing that, again, the worthiness is a big one. I don't think I have the description for this, unfortunately. I was going to read from him, Cthulhu. But what freaked me out, you guys, look what came up on the bottom. Twin Flame was on the bottom of the deck. So for many of you, that's, again, just confirmation that a sacred partnership is possible. A happy relationship where it's productive, where there's, communication. But you have to open your heart. You have to open your heart to draw this in. And the biggest thing I can do to tell you, the High Priestess energy, connecting to the divine, but it's the self-love and the self-healing. The childhood stuff, masculines, I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is sit down with some Apache tears, crystals, and relive all those moments as if you're in them. Remember how it felt, if you were slapped across the face, or terrible words were said to you, or if you were left behind. Those things it's not fun, it's not pleasant, but sit with it. And if you feel it, those Apache tears will take it out. Your tears will flush it out. It's very cleansing, and it's a very necessary process right now. We're also getting fertility. And to me, I think this is what I was just getting into. And look, it's interesting that it's a masculine on the fertility card. I think this is about tapping into that creative energy. And that helps bring your energy in alignment with, to embrace the feminine side of you. And I think that's what many masculines struggle with, is because they're told not to feel emotions. They're told that's a girl thing. That's not a manly thing. Get into something creative and see how wonderful that feels. I feel like there could be some sacral chakra energy, solar plexus healing that may need to be done as well. Maybe look at some clearing and meditation music on YouTube. I don't know, that was just coming up. I feel like the lower chakras, all the chakra are actually, everybody could really use right now some chakra balancing, but root is where, the pinnacles, feeling unworthy financially, the root chakra. Sacral is about sexual creativity, getting that in balance and in an energy that's not, just a sexual energy, but more just about creating things with yourself, music, again, poetry, those types of things. Solar plexus is about confidence, worthiness. And then the heart chakra, of course we know that one. The throat, speaking your truth. Third eye and crown is the high priestess energy connecting to the divine. Let's see if we have some time to pull that, but I want to pull Archangel Michael. We're going to see what message Archangel Michael has for the divine masculines. Yep. Let go of fear now. Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. This is the fear. This is the unworthiness. This is I'm afraid to open myself up. I'm afraid somebody's going to walk away from me, so I'm just going to shut myself off first. I'm not going to commit to this. I'm not going to commit to this, because then if I don't commit, they can't leave me, because I'm not even going to be there for them to leave. And that is what has to go. That's what has to go. And I feel like, again, there's a recognition now of that, of what it is that's holding you back. And I think that's what Spirit is just like the most proud of right now. But we're getting choose peace and be gentle with yourself. Okay. So that's just, you're going through a lot right now. So self-care is important. Journaling, writing out your feelings, burning them. It's not just something that, the females should be doing. It's everyone. Self-love. This is about self-love. This is about looking in the mirror and telling yourself you love yourself. And once you start doing these things, you're going to attract in the spiritual law of attraction. You're going to attract in everything you've wanted. I feel like I'm just getting that the Spirit is just so proud of the masculines right now. Let's see. They have another message. This is the first Oracle deck I ever purchased. It's about something about the creative energy. Sensitivity. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. This is about let yourself feel. Let yourself feel. It's something that as a masculine, again, you've been conditioned to not do that. That it's time. And you can call on Archangel, I think it's Haniel. Honor yourself and your feelings. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay to cry. It's okay to just say, I need to sit down and sit with this, to process. Work with malachite, work with the heart chakra especially is what I'm getting. It's starting to open. You might be having heartburn. You might be having some, digestion issues. It will pass. It comes with ascension. Just be gentle with yourself. Okay? Listen to some heart chakra music on YouTube. I'm definitely getting that it's time to comfort yourself, to sit with your emotions. I don't know how much time we have left, but I feel like they're wanting me to pull a card for the masculines. What's going on? Signs from Spirit. Oh my gosh, rainbow renewal. So you may be seeing rainbows show up in your newsfeed on Facebook or social media. You may be asking for this as a sign or seeing these. It's a renewal. It's a sign that, this renewal energy, isn't that what we had? Release. That was the release card. But it's about entering a new phase. And I love what the saying that I saw recently. It said, the soul could have no rainbow if the eyes had no tears. Remember that. You need to cry. It's okay to cry. It's necessary to cry. Get those Apache tears. Let those tears flow. And just know that you're on the right path. All of these, everything you're seeing, everything that's happening is confirming it. Spirit is proud of you. You know what to do now. You're awakening, you're recognizing the patterns. That's half the battle, is finally understanding why things are happening. Now realizing you have the tools and the understanding to know how to manifest going forward and create change. Tap into your intuition, ask for signs, and you will be guided. You will be guided. All right. I hope this helped you guys. I'm very proud of the divine masculines and also the divine feminines. We've had one heck of a year. We've been on this journey a long time. So I'm here for you guys. I hope this video was helpful. And again, I'm proud of you and Spirit's proud of you. Take care.